Tag Show.
The Mix Tag Show.
With Jenna and Blue.
Damn.
Now, here's your host,
Jenna and Blue Magic.
Yeah.
Give me more.
What am I giving you more of, huh?
You take
No,
more.
stop.
You stop. You gave me-
Stop
How
it,
you
stop
give
it,
me
stop it,
more?
stop it, stop
And
it.
you gonna tell
You're
me-
listening. Hey,
So you push your buttons. Go ahead.
you might have drank too soon.
You might have drank too soon.
Okay, whatever.
Start the show.
Whatever. Hey, you're listening and watching the Mix Tag Show with. Oh, okay. Jenna and Blue. I got it. Since you want to play
It
games.
doesn't count till I do it.
Well, it counted. It's done with.
No, it doesn't count.
You should have played games with the intro.
No, it doesn't count until I do it.
Too bad. How was your week? The Mix Tag Show with.
Jenna and Blue.
How was your week?
It was fun. I went away for this past weekend, like I said last show, for my boys' bachelor weekend.
Sorry,
Had
I'm
fun.
sniffing in the mic like that.
Yeah. Went paintballing.
It's better than burping like you do.
I never bump on the mic. Went paintballing. Went to the gun range. We went to the club.
What club?
Went to the club that was out there, and then we did karaoke. If I check out my Instagram at the Blue Magic Grind. You see me do the Blackstreet Boys bye with the homies.
It was a bad
Hating.
rendition.
We did ATVs too. Like that's my new hobby. I love the ATV. We was out there for like an hour and a half riding on ATVs.
Just riding.
At first it was kind of like difficult. I was like, this is kind of weird, you know. And after a while, like I was gone.
Yeah.
Gone. How was your weekend?
Okay. I saw a very powerful movie. Actually, you know what? That Thursday, you know what I did?
What did you do?
I went to Comic-Con. Shout out to TKO. We went to Comic-Con and saw our favorite person in the world.
Sasha.
Boss time.
I did say we weren't going to speak about her this week, but
We're gonna end up talking about her.
since there's a hot topic about her. But yeah, we went to go see her. It's always a good time when you see her. And I wanted to see Bailey and Finn, but coins.
Got it.
So, but yeah, that was cool. That made my week actually. And then on Saturday, me and my best friend saw a really, really powerful movie called The Hate You Give. It just really speaks about what a lot of us have to go through in this day and age.
Right.
So it was a very, very powerful movie that me and my friends definitely cried. And I don't know when's the last time I cried in the movies, but that was definitely a hit home. So if anybody's a movie buff and interested in seeing the movie, it is called The Hate You Give.
Yeah, one of my friends went to go see that too. I seen her post it up on her Instagram story.
What
So
did she think about it?
She cried.
Yeah,
As well.
I think at least 3 different times I cried, especially at the ending. I really started bawling. So, but yeah, it was a really, really good movie and eye opener. So, but yeah.
That was your week. Oh, can I shout out my boys? Shout out to JD, Casey, Chris, Abdul, and Rodney that came out. Outside of Rodney, the rest of us, we've been friends since like middle school and elementary school. So it's like whenever we get together, it's like it's brothers.
It's brothers.
And Rodney honestly just came out there for one night.
Mm-hmm.
And the rest of the weekend was just us. We call ourselves M01. So shout out to M01.
You got a lot of names for your crew, huh?
You got a name, you can get clicked.
Well, that was our week, right? So
Yep.
we've had this contest going on for 1,000,000 years.
I forgot all about it.
Yeah, last I realized, we said we're gonna do this, so let's do this, even though the coins are not there. But
But you know how they can help us out?
by heading over to where?
The WWE shop.
Boom, we have our link in our bio at the Mix Tag Show and on our personals at Blue Magic Grind.
At Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE.
And if you watch the show on YouTube instead of listening, you can head over to the description box. Our link is provided. So please use our link. It's the same exact thing that you would do by typing in the WWE shop, but you're just clicking our link. You don't have to type in anything. You're just clicking. Boom.
And then you send some coins our way.
Boom. On that note, the winners of our Usos Naomi giveaway
glow since day one-ish. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah. Seti said 1125. Shout out to you. We're giving you the Usos flannel shirt. And I guess the Jimmy Uso and Naomi autograph. I have 2 of them, so we can give to the other one. And shout out to Naomi Uso _girl, international pick. Well, she's a huge fan, and she's been showing us love.
Yep.
Since day one.
Ish.
So shout out to you. We'll hit you guys up in the DMs, or you can hit us up. Slide them in, and we'll have to get it and then ship it out to you soon. But congratulations to you guys. And the draft update, because our participants was like, yo.
What happened last week?
I didn't feel good. I still don't feel good. But
we
made it work. So we have a new leader.
Oh, yeah. Can I do this one?
Yeah, go for it. Well, first, who won the week?
Petty Club Worldwide, which is Joey.
Bullet Club for life.
Had 292 points to lead off the week.
Yep.
Followed by Night Riders with 189 points. Then New Generation X with 145.
Yep.
Undisputed Nation of Domination with 94.5.
Yep.
TK Crew with 77.
Yep.
Evolution with 75.
Yep.
And then Rich Fam with -7. How'd you get a -7?
Anyway, yeah, but Petty Club Worldwide, AJ definitely gave him some points with the win at Super Showdown, plus the appearances on SmackDown and actually having another match, promo, and winning at the Mixed Match Challenge. So AJ Styles had a very, very good week.
Very productive week by the phenomenal one.
So the overall points are, you want me to continue?
You go ahead.
Okay, so Petty Club Worldwide is the new leader.
Yep.
I repeat, Petty Club Worldwide is the new leader with 1532.5 points. Then we have Night Riders close behind with 14.5 points. I know Astro is sick right now.
He's gonna be mad.
Because he every day texting me just like about his points and his what's going on. New Generation X is up next with 1018. We have Undisputed Nation of Domination with 752.5 points. Actually, I apologize. After Night Riders is TK Crew with 1416. Then New Generation X 1018. Undisputed Nation of Domination 752.5. Evolution 663. And Rich Fam with a nice round score of 370 points. So it looks like the real main competition is the main competition right now is going on between Petty Club Worldwide, Night Riders, and TK Crew. But who knows?
Yeah, anything can happen, especially with Rey Mysterio coming back for Undisputed Nation of Domination. He's the one that got him, so he could get him a lot of points.
Booyaka. 619. Okay. Anyway, ready to get into the show?
Let's get into the show because we had a very productive, well, not very productive, very long weekend with the Super Showdown. Did you wake up to watch this one time?
The irony is I told you and other people I was not waking up to see this, but for whatever reason, I wound up waking up at 5:30, not without any alarm or anything. So I wound up staying up before I went to work and watching most of it until the last couple of matches, because I had to watch the rest at the following week.
It started at 5 or 6?
5.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I got up and watched it.
So, to kick it off, how did you feel about it?
In general, I mean, I don't think we're going to really get it too much into it, just what really stood out to us.
Right.
But I was harsh, like just thinking, this is whack. But it was a fun, I preferred it over the Greatest Royal Rumble.
Right.
I thought it was a little bit more fun. I would have loved to see more energy from the crowd, but whatever. But it was cool. It felt like a live event.
What was your favorite match?
I want to say my favorite match was probably Buddy Murphy and Cedric Alexander. That was a good match. and Buddy finally won in his hometown. And I said
That
it
was
last
big.
week. I said last week. I felt the two hometown team people were gonna win, and they wound up winning.
You call that.
And normally they don't, but I just feel like for whatever, it's in Australia.
Right.
You know what I
It's
mean?
not often that's gonna happen there.
Exactly. So I felt like that was the main reason why they should have won.
Good
but
call.
thank you. What about you? What was your favorite match?
I think my favorite match of the night probably would have been. I think I'm gonna go with the AJ and Joe match.
So the funny thing is, and shout out to Peter A, because he definitely texted me and asked me my opinion. We kind of went back and forth. I didn't like that match. I didn't care for it.
Why?
I thought it was boring.
Really?
Mhm.
Nah, I really enjoyed that match. Between that and the cruiserweight, I didn't want to say cruiserweight because you already said it.
Yeah.
But I like that match.
Do you think the match between AJ and Samoa Joe was their best match out of the three that they've had?
No.
So that's my thing. That was more so my gripe when we were having this conversation. Me and Peter were having this debate. I just felt that it's no disqualification.
Right.
So the background story is Samoa Joe was getting at AJ and his family. So
Right.
if that means if this man was harassing you and your family, if this is no disqualification, I'm tearing you apart.
Right. You're more vicious. Than
Yeah.
that.
The one that wound up bleeding was AJ, not Samoa. Yeah, his knee pop or whatever. But it was, obviously
Yeah.
that storyline, it wasn't a real thing. So it's just like you didn't really show your dominance by really giving it to him, especially to put this feud away. So
Well,
that I didn't like.
I like the fact that they actually made Joe have to tap out. But like you said, it's the PG era, so it's not going to be anything too crazy anymore.
No, I understand, but we've seen matches in the PG era that, it doesn't have to be a full-out bloodshed, but we've seen matches that have gotten there was very rare use of tables, chairs, and there was some spots,
Right.
but I was looking for more, and I felt again of these two caliber, they have it in them to really put on a show. I thought their SummerSlam match was the best one out of this feud, and it just goes back to how I feel about AJ. I think he's a great talent. He's one of my current favorites, but I just feel like
He needs something else.
this reign is not. I don't know what it is. It could be the same situation, like you said, with Shinsuke, that they tell them to dial it back,
Yeah.
but it's not helping anyone, in my opinion.
It's not. It's not. But in their eyes, it is. So, for those that forgot, we kind of had like a prediction contest.
Well, I don't even think we've actually mentioned it. But before we even get into that, I did want to speak about one more match, I guess. What did you think about Becky and Charlotte? Or do you prefer to talk about it more so SmackDown?
More so SmackDown, because the match between them was pretty decent.
Okay.
It was decent. It was nothing like
Okay.
out of this world, like how we've seen from them before.
Yeah. Okay. Well, since they had the match on Tuesday, we can definitely talk.
You
about
know what
it
it is?
more.
I think a lot of times is that when these people travel, it's the jet lag and the media that kind of wear down on them too. Because when I realized that when they go overseas, that their energy is not as the same as when they're in America.
That's a good way of looking at it. I didn't take that into consideration.
Because once they get there, they got to do all this media.
Yeah.
They travel across the world, and I feel like they always have that low energy, and especially with Cena, they didn't even let him take no bumps because of the movie he's shooting, and it was a safe pay per view.
John Cena, aka John Cena, Bradshaw.
What was that
Layfield.
X thing that he did and
Well, he added a new move to his repertoire.
from his movie? Apparently, this is a move from
There
his
you
movie.
go. That man is gonna be doing this from now on.
They literally said 5 moves of doom and whatever the name of that move was, and it was over.
And then, no, they said that was the 6th move of doom.
Right.
So, you can't call him 5.
Right. Okay.
I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry.
You can't call him 6 moves of doom no more.
The liquor got to me. I'm sorry. Go
It's
ahead.
okay.
But yeah, but we'll get more into SmackDown. So
Did you like the Triple H and Undertaker at all?
it was cool.
It was nostalgia, right?
Yeah, it was cool. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. It was cool.
It was a good, nice pop, especially at the end when you thought everything was like, oh, they're back for friends again, and then Brothers Destruction's like, nah.
No, it was a cool match. It was what it was. So, what did the people rate This pay-per-view.
They rated about a B-.
Okay.
I give it like a C+.
I give it a C+. And now going back to what you said earlier, we decided to make the show interesting. We're always trying to find different ways to get interactive and just add some fun stuff to it. Cool. So we decided going forward for every pay-per-view, we're going to try to do like whoever wins or gets the most amount correct in regards to who's going to win.
Right.
You have to do something. Right?
Yep.
So unfortunately,
this was a tie.
This was a draw. I predicted 5 right. Blue predicted 5 right. So me and him are going to take a shot of tequila. That's not PG, is it?
Nah.
Well, I mean, we're not doing anything crazy.
No,
People
we're not.
drink.
Stone Cold gets beer all the time.
Right? Come on. So we're gonna see how this show goes. It could tail off and be super bad, or this could be a really, really interesting and fun episode. Maybe our best episode yet.
Yeah, it doesn't help. We had like margaritas before this.
I'm saying I'm a lightweight, so.
Oh yeah.
Well, at least, yeah. Okay.
I'll call you an Uber, I guess. Drive safe.
Right. No drinking and driving. You have to put the little disclaimer there.
Don't drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly.
Somewhere right here.
All right.
And we gotta share a lime.
Yeah, this is
It's
actually
lemon,
my lime.
lemon.
That's a lime.
Lemon or lime?
No, it's not a lemon or a lime. It's
I'm asking
green.
you.
And I'm telling you, it's
a
lime.
Okay. Stop yelling at me.
No, but I just don't
you gave
understand
me more
it.
anyway. Okay. No, stop it.
All right. Yeah, stop it. Okay.
Yeah. I don't want it. Ooh, pretty good.
All right.
Can I have the rest of that?
No.
Oh man.
Patron is pretty smooth. I just name dropped.
Right. You can't. They're not paying us. It's tequila.
Right.
My chest burn.
We did it, Miles. We did it. Okay.
On to your show.
Your chest burns?
On to your
Be
show.
a man about it. You got Eddie Guerrero on your shirt. Come on. You got to be a man about it.
I gotta sell it, you know.
I'm actually feeling
Now it's feeling your chest.
swishing around. No, that is just like,
your stomach?
yeah, just right there.
And I had a salad for dinner, so imagine how I feel.
Well, you can hold your liquor more than I can. Anyway, Raw.
Yeah.
I'm ready. I got personality already. Look at that.
See? All I gotta do is take a shot.
So, one last time again, Triple H and Shawn Michaels came out, did their whole DX thing, and
This is what they're doing now. Because you know you had to make money off the Too Sweet.
yeah, right. So, but yeah. So, how do you feel about this? They officially booked for Crown Jewel against the Brothers of Destruction, Taker and Kane.
The sane mind is like over this whole situation. It's like, really, we doing this?
Mm-hmm.
But the small child left in me kind of popped a little bit. The CDX.
Yeah, it was cool.
Like, you know.
And the shirts are fire.
the
Shout out
shirts
to the
are- yeah,
WWE
the shirts
shop.
are fire. We need that. We need
Please.
that. Please. Thank you.
Not we need that, just please.
Yeah, we need that. Please.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Don't be rude.
No, when I say we need that, it's like a, you know, that's fire. I need parts.
I needs that.
I needs that.
I needs parts
No
of that.
disrespect in a way if y'all don't know, but yeah. But again, it's like if Sean's gonna come back,
Which side did you bite on? I think it's the one that like
you have lipstick on your side.
you can't really see.
I can see it.
No, you can't.
This side is
You
yours.
barely can see anything. What do you mean?
I
No.
have glasses on. What
I
you talking
barely
about?
bit into it. No, that's this side. Exactly. This is the side.
That's what I'm saying. That's not.
No, you
facing
said this
you.
side.
The
This
face-
side. This side that's facing you is where the lipstick is at. You can see the lipstick
Give
there.
me. Let me show you.
It's right here,
I can
Blue.
see it on the lime.
It's right there.
That's not lipstick.
Then what is it? It's lipstick. This is
It's not.
right here is lipstick.
Why are we arguing during the show about lipstick? It's not lipstick. X-Mac.
It's not Matt. It's actually Miles over there.
Miles, sorry.
Miles, hold on. I'm going to show you right there.
That's not lipstick. See?
He can't tell because I'm here.
Anyway.
You can't see. But imagine taking
I have
the.
glasses on. How can I not
But
see?
I have 20/20 vision.
Supposedly.
No, actually.
This is actual.
Continue with the show.
But yeah, why Shawn Michaels gonna come back? I heard that he's gonna be having a few new feuds going on as well. Cool, whatever. I don't think we need to see this at Crown Jewel, but we're not paying for it. Saudi Arabia is, and this is apparently what they want.
I mean, yeah, I feel the same way. I guess it'll be cool. Again, it just takes the spotlight from other people, but it looks like we're just having a whole bunch of part-timers and older superstars participate. So at this point, it's just whatever.
But my thing is, again, I said this, I think on the show last week. The thing with the part-timers is that even though they show up, they get a pop out of us because they know what they're doing. And a lot of times people in the current roster, I get it, they don't get enough time to do, like, to show their talent and stuff like that. But they don't get the same reaction.
But, I mean, when you say a pop, it's not a pop like if this is 1999
This
or
never
2000.
gonna be a pop like 1999.
So that's when you say that, it's just like,
it's still better than pops that a lot of people get today.
that's true, but it's just like, honestly, I feel like it's when they come out now is very awkward for me. I just think like it's just this awkwardness in the crowd that I feel like because there's younger people there and obviously older heads that know what it is,
Right.
but also younger heads that don't know what it is, and it's just like, okay, what's so cool about this? That's my impression when they come out and when they came out on Monday.
My impression is more so like it's sad that this current product can't get the same reaction without
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I feel like these Saudi Arabia pay-per-views are essentially throwaways. It's not really much.
No.
So it's like, okay, do we really waste a big feud, or we just put them on there?
Yeah.
At this point?
Again, this is people that pay for the pay-per-view, so they get to choose what wrestlers they want to see and what have you. So this is what they want to see.
So we have a double turn, possibly.
I've been calling for this.
Even calling for
This is what I've been asking for the past few months.
Okay.
For Bobby Lashley to go heel, and for Kevin Owens to go face.
So we'll actually talk about it a little bit more in depth during Hot Topics, but this is what Bobby needed.
Yeah.
And now we were, I think many of us were confused just for the simple fact of Lio Rush is a heel.
Right.
And we didn't know by pairing him with Bobby, was he actually a face? But
Right.
now this is making
He
him,
turned Bobby. So.
yeah, which is good because at this point, to make Bobby Lashley seem believable, you have to make him serious. So him coming out cheesing and he's right. He's like super brolic for no reason
Right.
to be a face. So he just be a dominant, right? That's his shtick, his
Right.
spiel, his thing. You know.
And I kind of seen it happening, and then I text you. I text Undisputed Era about this too. It's like during
Why am I not a part of it?
as the match continued, as the match was happening, I'm realizing the moves that Kevin Owens are doing. I'm like, those are his face moves
That
from
he's
Ring of
doing.
Honor.
Yeah.
Like he went through the ropes, and he really was doing high flying moves and like pandering to the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm seeing Bobby Lashley's demeanor.
It's funny. I always wonder when you have double turns like that, is it on the fly or is it something that they called in the back? Because the crowd was very anti-Bobby and very pro-KO.
Right.
Right? Like, is that something that they thought, this is what we're going to do? But then, again, we'll talk about this a little bit more, but it's just funny how I love when things kind of just go hand in hand. Because if that wasn't planned, but it wound up working out.
Right. I think they called it in the back,
Okay.
but then, or they probably called it on the headset to the ref, like, yo, tell him, go ahead, pull it.
Okay.
You never know. But it just felt natural and it felt real. And that's why I like those kind of turns, is because the crowd got to choose
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah. And KO needs a new fresh start, and Bobby definitely needs it.
Yeah.
Definitely. And again, the whole pairing with Leo is very annoying, and then Bobby's just an ass kicker, so it made sense. So, how you feeling? Is the tequila?
It's hot.
What was hot before that?
I know, but
is
it's
it
hot
like kicking
now.
in? No.
I'm a heavy drinker. So.
Yeah, you are. So it doesn't really matter.
Bellelution.
Bellelution. Okay, so what did you think? We finally got the turn from the Bellas. I know. Here we go.
Seen
Go
it
ahead,
miles
Tony.
away. Like, again, I text you like, hey, here's the turn time.
I mean, I think everyone knew
Yeah.
that, especially since it was leaked
Yeah.
months ago that Nikki and Ronda were going to face each other for the Raw Women's Championship. But what did you think?
It's stupid, in
Why?
my opinion.
Why?
Because, first of all, Nikki was SmackDown before she left.
Mm-hmm.
Randomly, she gets put on Raw. And then now, on top of that, like you said, all of a sudden, me and you had this conversation before the show. All of a sudden, they got buddy with Ronda, only to turn on Ronda, and then for Nikki to get the title shot. Like, why couldn't Brie and Nikki have like a little spew about who gets the shot, or flip a coin at least? Make it something like not so obvious.
Right.
Like they both were on SmackDown. All of a sudden, they're both on Raw. It was just, to me. But I get it. It's the money situation where you got to sell, and Ronda's a moneymaker, and Nikki's a moneymaker. But to me, she came out of nowhere and got a title shot.
So I want to say this as best as possible where it's not me coming off hating on the Bellas. I feel like you got something for me.
Nah, I'm trying to see if my screen was still on because my phone was dying. But,
okay.
It's still there.
How much do you have left?
Wait, why is it not working?
So I don't want to come to make it come off as like I'm hating on the Bellas because we had this conversation when we were eating at Chipotle. I am just name dropping everything. Huh?
They're not paying us.
So when I was eating at a
fast food Mexican spot,
right? I get it, and I'm coming around to Nikki Bella because remember when I was telling you like. Now that I think about it, when we had the second draft come along and Nikki and Carmella had their feud on SmackDown, I enjoyed it because it was hard hitting. 1, 2.
Good.
Again, it was Nikki. Don't tell me to go ahead. I'm thinking about what I'm going to say.
I was going to push a button.
No, and I said to you, if Carmella was the Carmella that we have now, and obviously the Nikki that we have now, it could have even been a better feud. So I'm coming around to Nikki. I don't think she's great promo-wise at all, but that's another story. But I get it. But I agree with the situation of, okay, Nikki and Brie both attack Ronda. Why is it determined that? I get that this is what you wanted, Nikki and Ronda, but let it make sense, right? So if Nikki and Brie both attack Ronda, so then who gets to say that Nikki is the one that gets the title shot, right?
Draw straws or something.
Like, and let them face off, but wait, I attacked her too. You know what I mean? That could be not a crazy feud, but listen, and I think that'd be something some people would want to see. Have a feud between Nikki and Brie, just because, especially when they had that feud a few years ago.
Right.
And they never really, died out. Exactly. That could have been something right there. Not if it was an actual feud, but it was just something that, okay, sometimes sisters are going to go at it. Right? And so it's just like, okay, why do we determine Nikki's the one that has the match? But whatever, we knew it was coming. I'm not mad at it anymore like I originally was. I've come around to the Bellas being back. I hate that, again, a lot of other women are getting pushed back out of nowhere. And I remember someone that I follow said that, they deserve it, this push or whatever. And I'm like,
really?
How do they actually deserve it if they've been gone for so long? But there's women currently there. Not going to say any names.
Not to Hot Topics.
Right. But that's been killing it and holding it down. And then all of a sudden, you can come back and get a title shot at the first ever women's pay-per-view. That I don't agree with, but I'm okay with it.
And I agree with you in terms of like the whole thing having a match together. Only if we had more time. They pulled the trigger on this too late. There's 3 weeks left. Yeah. There's no time for them to have a match to figure out who's going to get. That's why I said draw straws, flip a coin, something to carry the storyline faster and over. Yeah. But whatever.
And I've told quite a few people, and I even said this on Twitter, I am praying that this match goes well, just because as a lot of us know, Nikki has a weak neck, right? And any wrong move could do some damage, as we've seen with other people such as Paige, Edge, Stone Cold. The list goes on and on. Ronda's very aggressive.
Yeah.
And I don't think Nikki has ever experienced anyone like Ronda.
Right.
And vice versa, right? Because Ronda's still very new to the whole wrestling world. So I'm hoping that this match goes very smoothly because, as you can see, Ronda is very, very aggressive.
And that's the thing, and we spoke about it again at the Mexican spot, is that Nikki, I don't think, sometimes she do still mess up a little bit, but she's in there with veterans.
Nikki does mess up sometimes.
Yeah, so the people she's in the ring with know how to adjust to the mistakes. I don't think Ronda's there yet to know to adjust. And I feel like the moment she has that one slip up, it's gonna scare her, just like when she got hit in the UFC and she just crumbled.
Well, I don't want to say Nikki is the only person that messes
No,
up.
no.
Right,
I'm saying everybody messes up.
Yeah.
But I don't make it.
She's not a ring general like you would, like maybe Natalia or someone like that can handle, can instruct someone to do better or
adjust to the mistake.
Exactly.
So that's my only thing. Is again, from the UFC, when she got hit, she panicked, and that's why she lost both of her matches.
Well, granted, that's not scripted. This is. I'm not against this match anymore. Like, again, sometimes when you're in the heat of the moment, you're like, what? Why are they doing this? Blah, blah, blah.
We'll get to it.
We'll get to it, but I've come more to terms with the match. I just don't like that Brie gets boxed out. Now, maybe they'll probably do
Brie versus Liv.
Right, but still, let it make sense. Because even if it's a situation like, boom, so you do Brie and Nikki versus each other to who's going to face Ronda. Liv comes out and attack Brie because she still hasn't forgotten what she did to her a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
That sets up the match for Brie and this one, right? Just because there's, like you said, when we spoke about it, history, right? But whatever. We spoke about this for a long time. Mixed match challenge. You seem like you don't even care about this.
I didn't even pay attention to this match.
Well, the reason why I wanted to discuss it, because I'm like, Evolution is 3 weeks, and this is going to be the main topic throughout the whole show. But Evolution is 3 weeks away. Why is Bayley, and for that matter, Alicia Fox,
mixed match challenge?
Because mixed match challenge is not even storyline. It's just something they do, and then whoever wins it goes to charity. So it has nothing to do with the actual product. So why is it that Bayley, like, you can't find anything for Bayley? Even if you had Bayley and Alicia to face off with each other.
Right.
But why, like, you get what I'm saying? Like, it's too much focus on men.
Everything.
You know what I mean? I'm not trying to say, oh, I'm a feminist, and which is nothing is wrong with that. But Evolution is 3 weeks away. You know? So I heard that maybe this is kind of like a placeholder for her until when hopefully Sasha comes back, they'll pick right back up with the boss and hug thing. I don't know. We don't know what's going on. Like, obviously we'll get into that later, but I don't know. I just think this is stupid that this is carrying into the actual show.
And I think they do this on SmackDown too, don't they?
With Carmella and R-Truth.
Yeah. But that makes more sense and more fun, like in Carmella for R-Truth world. But it's, like you said, Mixed Match Challenge, Evolution is like 3 weeks away.
Right.
I didn't even pay attention to this match, so I don't know who won. I don't know what happened.
Finn and Bayley won, which was going to be the obvious thing. But yeah, that was just my whole gripe with, it's a lot of fillers going on Raw when it doesn't need to be that. It needs to be
set
with the women.
Right.
But speaking of the women, we have Team Bestie versus Team Bestie. I think the original Team Bestie actually changed their name to Bestie is Best for Business. I don't know. Someone correct me. Yeah. Because they had one of those backstage interviews.
Bliss and James?
No.
Oh.
Lita and Trish.
Oh.
But even still, that's worse.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's what Lita and Trish confirmed that what their name is. What did you think?
It was a decent moment, decent segment. It was just weird to see them combine the matches.
Is it?
It was, because it was like, James and Lita, Bliss and Status on this side. And then all of a sudden, we changed it to a tag team match 3 weeks ahead. So now it's being reported that
we'll talk about that in Hot Topics.
But it's just like, it's not, Evolution is... Like,
but you would have preferred Trish and Alexa?
No, the pairing is fine. They're probably going to get like 7 minutes. But it's just the steps back. This was bothering me. In
this sense, I don't, and I might be hypocritical, I don't know, but I don't mind it. And another thing that I thought about, the reason why they made this a tag team, because maybe Alexa isn't 100%, because now that takes away from, okay, she has to actually compete throughout the whole match, right? But we'll go into hot topics and discuss that a little bit
Right.
more. But I was explaining this to Astro. I was like, well, maybe she isn't 100% too.
Maybe, but I have my other thoughts.
Well, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I don't have an issue with them making this a tag team match. It also makes sense because Mickey and Trish are the ones that have that history and that feud. So that's why I just didn't understand why it was Lita and Mickey and not Trish and Mickey going at it. So I'm okay with it, to be honest with you.
So what happens if they start a tag team division and it's at Evolution? So does the winner get to be put in the tournament?
I can't even think, honestly. What did you rate Raw though?
Give like a C minus, C.
What did you say I gave it? I gave it like a
C plus or something like that.
No, maybe it was a C minus. Okay, so C minus, C plus. It was okay. I just hated the fact that women weren't really a main focus.
So we're not gonna mention Shield or Dogs of War.
What is it? I mean, honestly, what was there to mention?
I mean,
Dean walked. I mean, it's essentially the same storyline every week. Dean is. You can see there's frustration building with Dean,
Do you think
but
Dean
we
is
don't
always
know
gonna
what's going to
turn?
happen. We talked about that last week. Eventually, but
I don't think it's Dean.
who's going to? Not Seth.
I think it's Roman and Seth is gonna turn on Dean.
No, I don't think.
Or
that's
maybe
happening.
Dean.
That's not happening.
Or maybe Dean and Drew turn on their teams and go to SmackDown during Survivor Series. They turn against.
But when
Raw.
you don't see teams switch over, superstars switch over during that time. It's typically after Mania.
I'm just throwing out things, but I don't think it's gonna be as obvious as they make it seem.
I don't think it'll be obvious, but when we least expect it, Dean will do it. You know, I hate when you make a whole bunch of noises like that and this.
Nobody can hear you.
But I can hear it. And it's bothering me after I had that
My
shot.
hands gotta be busy.
Doing something?
I need a spinner or something. That's how.
I'm
Don't
gonna
you
get
notice
you
that
one.
their shows? I always like
You
fidgeting with stuff.
fidgeting? I have a fidget spinner. I actually have a Sasha Banks fidget spinner.
Can I have it?
I said I have it, and I will bring it for you so you can do your thing.
During the show?
Yeah.
But what after the show? Can I have it?
No, you should have bought it when they had it up there.
Oh man.
So anyway,
The people rated it. It was very generous, and gave it a B minus.
they gave it a B minus. Okay, so speaking of Raw, and we spoke about Triple H, Undertaker, Kane, and HBK.
Break it down.
Okay, we have the poll question that we posted this week. One has to go. Their accomplishments. Who would you pick between Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Undertaker?
Undertaker.
I agree. Why do you say Undertaker?
Because to me, Shawn has done so much for the business. In my opinion, he's the best wrestler ever in terms of holding all. Like,
I almost opened this and was getting ready to drink. I would have been in for a rude awakening.
Yeah. But yeah, he's the best ever in my opinion. Mike, wrestling, we've had the discussion.
Yeah.
Triple H has been carrying this business. He's like one of those behind the scenes. I don't think he gets enough recognition as he should in terms of his times that he did with Undertaker, the times he did with The Rock, Stone Cold, and then afterwards with NXT. So you can't lose NXT, and you can't lose Shawn. Taker has a streak. What real impact has Taker had on the business?
Well, I won't say he hasn't had an impact on the business, but I do agree in the sense of if you eliminate Undertaker, it doesn't change what the Monday Night Wars and what he's did over the course of his career. Because, like you said, when Triple H and Shawn Michaels back in whatever year it was, went to 96, 97, went to Vince and said they had to be a little bit more aggressive and have more attitude, that implemented
Everything.
what Raw and WWF at the time needed, right?
Right.
So if it wasn't for them putting that bug in his ear, like, yo, this is how we need to go or we're screwed, we could still either WCW is the one that's still we're talking about right now, and
or not wrestling at all because
Exactly.
WCW folded anyway.
Well, they folded
on their own.
No, but they folded in the sense where everyone, all the good stars are in WWF. If let's say
I think no.
Rock.
They more so shot themselves in the foot.
That, but all the bigger stars that were created, such as Rock, Austin, Triple H, DX, and what have you,
Right.
were on WWF. What I'm saying is, if if you didn't have Shawn Michaels and Triple H put the bug in Vince's ear and they still decided to do the whole characters and silly stuff, you know what I mean? Then that would have probably led to a lot of the major players going to WCW. Like, we really don't know how the outcome is more so what I'm saying. But if they never did that, are we talking about WWE being a $1 billion company or going to Saudi Arabia and doing all these things? So on that note, if I had to pick, I'd remove Undertaker. But we all know Undertaker is a legend.
Yeah, he is a legend. I'm not taking that away from him.
Yeah, so.
Like I said, that's the first wrestler I remember seeing as a kid. Like, that's the person that put me on the wrestling. He scared me. But what I'm saying is, compared to the other two, his impact is not as efficient as DX.
You told me we have till 10:40. It's 10:10, so it should
Yeah,
okay. My house is okay. We're chilling.
we're good.
Okay. SmackDown Live.
Let's start off with Becky versus Charlotte.
Okay, so now we get to really go into Becky and Charlotte. What do you think so far in regards to this feud?
I think it had the heat it needed, but now I'm starting to think it's starting to drag just a little bit. Now they're doing the last woman standing in the match. It's not the first time ever. I'm not going to say that.
Explain why it's not the first.
Because it was done on NXT between Nikki Cross and Asuka.
They have a thing of doing that. Something that's done on NXT
doesn't count.
But go ahead.
But whatever.
But whatever.
Right. Like, okay. Like, we don't watch all of this. Okay. But the last woman standing match, I hope this is like the final chapter for them so they can just move on and do more things. I want to see more Becky Badass beat on somebody else.
Bad last. Joke.
Phone died? Nope. It's alive. It's still funny. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, I just want to see them move on and deal with other people. Yeah. Because I get it. It's only been 2 months, but it's like it's drawn out enough.
No, I don't think. I'm not tired of the feud by any means. I don't think it's been drawn out, but I will say I'm more for the feud than the actual matches itself, because it was cool when Becky turned, right? That was dope, right? And then all the promos and all the stuff, Becky getting at her and then the different brawls that they had, or Becky attacking her when she was doing Charlotte was doing a random ass photo shoot. But when I'm thinking of the actual matches, I didn't get my life for them. I'm like, oh, this match is amazing. I can't believe this happened, this, that, and the third. And I'm disappointed because it's 4 horsewomen. You know, you expect more out of them, in my opinion, at least. And they're best friends. So I just feel like when you're best friends, that chemistry should be there. Right. And I'm not saying that the chemistry is not there, but the matches haven't been
top dollar,
which is what we're expecting. So I'm hoping with this last woman standing match, it gives us a little bit more, because that spot that Charlotte did when she speared her into the LED thing,
that was dope.
That was dope, right? She even hurt herself. They both actually got hurt, but I want to see that same aggression that Charlotte had with Sasha. Right. That's your best friend. It should be there. Go all out, right? So, I
think it was there for the Hell in a Cell match. Just the other match, like you said, it just fell short. Yeah. The disqualification win when he hit with the title this past week is a double count out. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, it seems like it's drawing out. Like,
well, I mean, you have to have elements to a story, a feud, right? So it's because you're saying it's drawn out, but this is going to be their 3rd match, whereas someone like AJ and Joe, they had 3 matches. Same thing with Miz and Daniel Bryan. You're going to have, if it's a feud, essentially you should have quite a few matches, but I just don't think they're executing it.
That's that's what I'm getting to, because when I say join now, it's the same thing, kind of. Like, it's no elevation to make it. Yeah. Outside of when they speared through the LED, I was like, well, that's dope. Yeah. Kind of got me hyped. Yeah. But all the other matches, it never took it to the next level.
It's everything that's happening outside of the actual matches is what's elevating it. But the matches, because when you look back years from now, are we going to say, yo, remember that no, not even. You remember that Charlotte and Becky feud? Whereas years from now, you'll think of Charlotte's feud with the other person that we won't name. We still talk about it, right? I want that to be the case with those two, but they got to knock it out of the park for Evolution, especially since this is going to be the first women's ever pay-per-view and the quote-unquote first last women standing match. You know what I mean? They
Right.
have to knock it out of the park for this, or it the feud falls
Flat on his face.
falls short in my opinion. But
Moving on.
yes.
Miz got next.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I've been pushing for Miz to get his WWE title shot. I think he's ready for it. I think you saw what he did with the IC title, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Miz was ready when he had the belt back in 2011 against Cena.
He held his own.
He's a different character.
Yeah, no,
he's much better at what he does, and I love AJ, but Miz is one of those superstars, right? That we've named that they use for promotional purposes. This is the perfect guy that you use. He's carrying the title. Okay, I'm gonna bring him on the red carpet with this title and whatever, and he's gonna knock it out of the park. I'm excited for this feud for AJ and Daniel just because it's gonna be a nice technical match between these two.
And they held their own on the promo.
Exactly. It was just all around. It was a good segment. I was one of the better segments of the show, but I'm more so ready for the outcome.
For Miz.
Yes, and I'm assuming Daniel Bryan's going to be the one that takes the belt from AJ and then sets up the feud between, again, the match between DB and Mike Mizanin.
I'm hearing that Miz is going to be inserted into the match. It's going to be a triple threat.
I don't like that.
Only because they're trying to save Daniel Bryan for AJ for WrestleMania.
I don't like that. It should be DB versus The Miz at WrestleMania.
I'm just putting.
No, I get. No, it's fine. But I'm telling you my opinion of because AJ's held the title again for almost a year.
Right.
Why is it that the match itself is Daniel versus Miz? Even though we've seen it the past couple of times, but this adds another element to their feud. We saw the 8 years of Miz and DB. When you really think about it, like, damn, they got history.
Right.
So this just adds another element to it. AJ is fine without the belt.
Or with the title.
Or you know what I mean? It's time to let others work and do what they do. He doesn't need to babysit the title anymore. And it goes back to that for me.
Again, I think it's more so like WWE's trying to make sure he's marked into history, like he was here.
But we know that. Years from now,
But they want to make sure it's on the books. You know how WWE is. They like to put things on the books, just like how they erased AJ Lee off the books. They like to put things into the books.
So B+, the listeners gave it a B+ SmackDown. What do you give it?
I'll give it a C+.
Give it a C+ too because, again, and we'll get into for our last debate of the show, but
Not happy.
I wasn't happy. Where was the women? But we have a random debate because we were talking about this during Tuesday's show. You felt that the WWE should have done something because Finn, AJ, and the Good Brothers are clearly all in
The
same building. Why not do something?
Right. I'm not saying to put them on TV. Do something for Instagram. Do something for the website. Do something for the YouTube. Just a teaser. It doesn't have to be 3 minutes long. They've done it in the past because it's always good for those that are marks to the point where they watch outside of WWE to see that moment. So I feel like you missed it with the Raw 25. I get it. Good Brothers was there. Finn was there. AJ wasn't. And AJ is the person that really put the Bullet Club on the map. So if you're going to really do it, AJ has to be there. And you've teased it before, and you've seen the reaction you got when you teased it before. So why not continue teasing it until you find...
Between AJ and Finn.
Right, between AJ and Finn, with the Good Brothers there, because the Good Brothers is a prominent role. They're the OGs.
Okay.
But especially between AJ and Finn because they missed each other in New Japan. That's the biggest thing. So why not play to it from time to time until you're ready to pull the trigger?
So my issue with that is... again, like you said, we saw it on Raw 25. However, AJ was not there. And again, we'll talk about this later on in the show. But why do they need it? They need to have a moment. It'll happen eventually. But when it's October and Evolution is 3 weeks away, yes, like you said, it doesn't have to be on the show. Whatever. If that what you wanted to do with that, let the women do what they have to do. That's my only gripe. I love Finn. I love AJ. Whatever about the Good Brothers.
Damn.
But it's just like, why do characters that are already so much over need more
Finn is not
of
over.
attention? Finn is over.
Good Brothers is not over.
But that's why I said Finn, AJ, and then I said Good Brothers, whatever. Finn and AJ are
They're
fine.
buried. Finn is getting buried, in my opinion.
Finn is getting buried, but he's one of those superstars such as Bailey, such as Sasha, such as there's someone else I can't think of that will always have the attention of
fan base.
the attention of the crowd. Prime example is when they were at Comic-Con. People came out in droves because they're popular superstars. So those are superstars that's always going to get attention. You know, yes, he's getting buried by actual like creative, but every time you see him come out, it's always a reaction. It's never like quiet, right? 3 weeks away from Evolution. Why do we have to focus on AJ, who's already had a great week, and Finn? And I understand the Good Brothers, but at this particular moment, it's not their time. In my opinion, I don't think it's needed at that particular moment. And it will happen sooner or later that they'll all be in the same building, and then we can allude to that or get to that you know, wow, you have most of the OG Bullet Club together. Let's do something. I don't think it's needed at this particular moment, especially where we're complaining about the push for Evolution.
But like I said to you, it's like, just because you give them that moment doesn't mean it has to take away from Evolution. They're dropping the ball with Evolution. I think they should be doing more of Evolution as well. I've been mentioning that as well. I just mentioned this one part because it's not often that it happened that they're all in the same building because they're on separate brands. It doesn't mean because they did that it takes away from Evolution. They should be doing stuff for Evolution as well. But
yeah, but that's just another where I don't know. For me, I just feel like, I understand the shows weren't going to be all women, but anything that you can use where you can push the women, I have that before.
My gripe is with the creativity in general of how they're using the roster. That's my thing.
And I get it, but if your pay-per-view 3 weeks from now is an all-women's pay-per-view, every platform or what you're doing should be to the women. Look at what we're doing, right? Every Wednesday we post random pictures of the women. We're putting them over more than WWE is actually doing it, and that's a shame that that's the case. But that's how I feel. I love Bullet Club. You know, I'll too sweet you, whatever. But I just feel like there's a time and place for that, and I don't think it was
very
that.
upset about Evolution.
I'm not hiding that, but
know,
again, it's just
reason.
like it's really.
We're saying the same thing. It's just that I'm just thinking about the product in general, but you're like, make sure to forget about Evolution. It's like I'm not. Evolution is part of the problem.
No, it's
That's
not
my
about
thing.
It's not about forgetting about the product. It's about there's a time and place for everything. And if you again 3 weeks Evolution, Bullet Club can wait. Because if you're saying that, it's going to get the reaction out of non-WWE marks and WWE marks, it'll always be there. And it's not going to be, when are we ever going to get them all in the same arena? It'll happen. Especially if, for that matter, Finn is in the Mixed Match Challenge. He's going to be there next week or the following week, whatever. He's going to be there. So you have your time to do that.
They're not going to use it. That's my point.
They're
not going to use it at all.
I understand, but your main gripe was you have AJ, the Good Brothers, and Finn Balor all in the same building. Why don't you do something with it? What I'm saying is it doesn't have to be right now when Evolution is 3 weeks away. Because, again, Finn is on the Mixed Match Challenge, so he will be at the same arena on Tuesday nights until they're officially eliminated. Is what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be right now when he's trying to promote another pay-per-view. And then you have another pay-per-view right afterwards that you're pushing and not even pushing the one that's coming before. That's a problem. That's my thing. I'm not saying, don't do this, whatever. Let the women have their shine. It's too much going on in the world where women got to take a backseat. And again, we'll talk about this later on. It's Bullet Club. Cool, great. That's fine. Bullet Club is established. Focus on the women.
We'll finish this another time. I don't want to keep drawing it because we are on the time limit. Hot topics. Sasha Banks was given time off due to needing...
Well, let's clean that up a little bit.
was given some time off due to needing a mental break.
Well, again, let's clean that up. This is unconfirmed, so I don't want to say that's what actually happened, but there is a report from, did I put it on here?
Nope.
No, but there was a report that apparently that's the reason why she's been off the actual show and live events, is because she needed a mental break.
Yeah, and right now she's supposed to be on Ridiculousness with Rob Dyrdek, right?
Yeah.
But was
Robin
replaced,
Big, yeah.
and was replaced by Becky Lynch.
Yeah.
I can't blame her. She's been a workhorse since the people use the word now on the TV. She's been a workhorse. She's been doing what she needs to do. She needs some time off. Give her some time off.
Yeah, and I agree with that. We're both big Sasha Banks fans, so we're gonna be pro whatever. Right. But I think it's a little bit more than that, just for the simple fact of, if you're a person that follows her Instagram pages or her social media in general, you see from time to time she posts things, and kind of like frustration, right? And that I don't blame her with, just because if you truly feel like you're the best and you're constantly putting on for the company, and the WWE uses you to promote every little thing, and you're promoting outside of the WWE, and you're still not necessarily getting the push that you should be getting, it could take a toll on someone, along with the fact of being a workhorse, right? Working every house show and being at every event, it's probably definitely, it takes a toll on one. So I definitely don't blame her. I don't blame anyone that says, hey, I need a break.
Right.
And I've read this somewhere that Vince McMahon doesn't believe in breaks or anybody getting sick.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm actually very surprised if that is the case, that they allowed it, maybe because she's one of the bigger key players.
Right.
So that's why it was allowed. But, I think a lot of wrestlers should do that. Especially, it goes back to what you said last week about having seasons and interchanging different superstars, so we don't get tired of one, right, it gives us a chance to miss someone. I can see a few superstars being put to the side and resting up, and then coming back and having a bigger role and what have you. So
it gives them time to refresh, so they won't be so tired.
Yep. According to Dave Mesler, the tag team match between Trish Stratus and Alexa Bliss, Trish Stratus, Lita versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James has always been the case. However, they wanted to hold off announcing it until they confirmed Ronda and Nikki.
So basically did it for ticket sales.
That's what they're saying. Because Ronda and Nikki was going to be the money-making match. You think so? You think this is what tells people, you know what, I'm going to go and buy tickets for Evolution, because now Nikki Bella and Ronda is confirmed?
Yes. Only because, like I've said, Nikki has this following. Her and Brie has this following of the women and people in general that watches Total Divas that are a fan of the Bellas. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh, the Bellas are going to be here, especially in New York. That's a big market. They're going to come out to see the Bellas. Right. So I understand that, and Ronda is Ronda.
Right. But it goes back to what you said a couple of weeks ago, that people who were watching UFC, they're not checking for Ronda. I find it funny that you say that, okay, now this is going to help.
More so on the Bella side, Ronda's situation, as you can see, she still get a reaction. So there's still some wrestling fans that watches both sports that are like, oh, let me go see Ronda. Yeah. But I'm not. But the pure UFC fans are not gonna be like, oh, let me watch wrestling for Ronda kind of situation. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of, that's why I say it's a money making for them, and I get it. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean I'm happy about it.
No, I'm not saying that.
But it's a money maker for them.
But I just feel like, for me, and I think a lot of other people were excited to go to Evolution because it was an all women's pay per view, whether Nikki and Brie Bella were involved or not. Right. It's an added thing. And obviously there's Bella fans, so that gives an incentive to really go or watch or what have you. But in my personal opinion, I don't think that's what is going to be the moneymaker. Like, that's going to be the most tuned in match. Mm. Right? That's for me. That's what I think. I was excited to see Evolution because it was an all women's pay per view.
Yeah. Again, we'll get into the whole spew of Evolution, but
Speaking of Alexa Bliss, though, she was spotted at the American Music Awards. So I find it funny, not funny, but ironic because, quote unquote, Alexa Bliss is probably one, if not the face of the women's division, and they don't really use her outside of
wrestling.
Right. So, and we saw that Total Divas didn't really actually work. So it was interesting to see her at a music award. So.
Yeah, I didn't expect her to see it there. And she looked kind of awkward, in my opinion, being there. It was like, okay, I'm here. Like, what do I do next?
Yeah, that's not. It just
not like
that's not her.
It didn't grab my attention. Like, yo, like if they sent Nikki or Brie out there,
it makes sense.
Especially Nikki, they would have made sense because they're used to the red carpets.
Yeah.
Seeing Alexa Bliss there, I didn't make sense to me at all.
Well, good for her though. She was able to venture out. According to No Holds Barred podcast, Trish participation with the WWE won't stop actually at Evolution. So maybe we eventually will see Trish and Sasha. Favor. Yes. So
maybe.
That's good. Right?
I mean, that's who Trish really wanted to wrestle until they made her say what she said. But anyway, WWE reportedly has historic announcement set up for Evolution with Stephanie McMahon. So I wonder what that is.
Alrighty. Mustafa Ali is following the footsteps of Velveteen Dream and is going to have, I don't know if it's one or a couple of matches at Evolve.
Yeah, I think WWE is really trying to build that bridge with the independents just so they could, reach back when they need to and trying to get a outside fan base.
Right. Well, Evolve is definitely going to get a show because Mustafa Ali is the mother effing man.
Yeah, I agree.
Raw audience rises from the past 2 weeks. Are you surprised by that?
Yeah. I wonder what was the difference.
Well, I mean, I didn't put the numbers because I didn't feel like putting it, but it wasn't a major jump like, it went from 2 million to 4 million. It was just like I guess the past couple of weeks was like 2.3, 2.4 to 2.7. Nothing too crazy. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just the whole thing of maybe people thought that Evolution was actually going to be promoted.
Or pushed or
what have you, but no. Anyway.
KO has been KO'd.
Yeah. Do you like how I put that?
Yeah. Very snappy. Oh. There you go.
Boom.
According to Joe Polak, Pro Wrestling, Kevin will be undergoing knee surgery, but isn't anything major. And that's why maybe Bobby took him out.
Yes. Well, not maybe. That is the reason why Bobby took him out. So, and I guess it helps his heel turn. So.
Yeah.
But I hope when KO comes back, it's
a huge pop.
No, he's gonna get a pop. But I hope it's an actual face return, not going back to his.
I'm telling you, this age, Stone Cold Steve Austin, that's what he should be.
I don't disagree, but that's another topic for another day. Chelsea Green has signed with the WWE and reported to the Performance Center this past week.
Shout out to Chelsea Green. She's a very great talent.
Yes.
She liked one of my Insta stories.
Good for you.
New Bullet Club members and LIG members. So this past week, there was a show on Monday.
Yeah.
There was a new LIG member. Can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he came from Noah. So now LIG does have 4 members waiting, and it'll be 5 in total. He looked like he fit in pretty well. And new Bullet Club members is because Jay White and done turned on Okada. So now, when he did the turn this past week,
mine was good.
I'm seeing you smacking it away. Yeah,
I'm not smacking away, but go ahead.
You'll hear it. So this past week, the Bullet Club came out during the whole chaos problem issues and acted like they was trying to get Okada to join the Bullet Club. But then they turned on him, and Guido and Jito joined Bullet Club as well with Jay White. I think this is a setup because the Elite is heading to WWE or maybe a big push for Ring of Honor. Because what's basically happening with Tama Tonga is he's been recruiting. And I feel like they're recruiting to make up for the loss of the Elite when they leave. So.
The Elite? Like all of the Elite?
Yes. They already made a pact. I said they made a pact that they're going to make the move together. either way, Marty's coming. It's already said that he'll be in NXT by next year. But the Elite are making their decision on January 1st. That's why they've been playing to it on being the Elite. Like they got a message from H. Kenny got it this past week. Of a message from H. So they're making a decision. I think they're leaving New Japan as a whole, and either going to make a big move for Ring of Honor or coming to WWE. So Tama Tonga has to fill in the voids before it happens.
According to Wrestling.co, many backstage are praising the work of Becky Lynch, and also Vince McMahon has been praising the work. He even told an unnamed wrestler, watch Becky's work essentially and with her matches and her promos to improve. What do you think about that?
I think that's a great advice. I wonder who he told it to.
Yeah, I wonder too. But Becky's killed it. But it's so funny that like she's getting praises now, but it was there. You just had to give her a storyline instead of giving the same people the same push.
Right.
If you let other people work, you'd be surprised who can kill it and who won't kill it.
And that's for the men and women. Like,
yeah,
you can't
in general, yeah.
You can't make Roman Reigns is gonna be the face of this company. No, Charlotte is gonna be the.
Of course, he was gonna say that.
Charlotte gonna be the face of this company. No, there's people that's actually maybe better if you just give them a shot.
Right.
Just saying. So with that, we're gonna move on to our debate question.
Are you excited about Evolution?
No.
No. Is that our thumbnail?
Yeah.
No.
Wait.
No. Okay.
Okay.
No. Right.
Do this one.
No. Okay.
No, I'm not. Are you excited?
Of course not.
I'm not excited because I feel like, again, this is just a marketing ploy. Hey, let's talk about the Evolution, Revolution and all this other stuff. It started off great. You brought the NXT women to come over. They was kicking butt. You had a great matches going on between Charlotte and Sasha on one side, and Becky was holding her own on SmackDown, and it was going pretty well.
Bliss that came through,
and then Bliss came through,
yeah.
And then now Charlotte is the main focus, and then let's bring the Bellas back here and there, and let's bring Ronda in. I just feel like it's like doing all that just took steps away. And then again, like I said, when Evolution was announced, I was happy. It's all women pay-per-view. I know what the women could do. This is a great opportunity. NXT, UK. Even the main roster, like Naomi and so on and so forth, I know what they're able and capable to do. But then now you're starting to plan it out with Lita and Trish versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James, and Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. And it just takes away from the people that could actually do something. And it hurts my heart to see this. Because now when I look back and I told you watching old stuff, like when we post our throwbacks, Trish and Lita wasn't that great in the ring. I'm sorry to say this. I know it's going to ruffle some feathers. But they were not that great in the ring. The only match you can remember of theirs is the main event of Raw.
The only reason why you actually remember that match because it was the first time ever.
Right, and it was the first time ever. It wasn't even that great of a match.
Yeah.
Lita almost killed herself.
Yeah.
So it was like, what other match do you remember? I remember Lita for messing around with Edge and Matt Hardy and Essa Rios. I remember Trish for messing around with Vinnie Mac, Tess, Albert. Like, those are the memories I have of those. Ooh. Like, so to make them, like, it's just... It's just a marketing piece. You don't
even remember Trish and Mickey?
Like, of course I remember Trish and Mickey, but that was because of Mickey. Her character stood out to me. She was the crazy fan that was stalking Trish Stratus. That's what I remember.
Okay.
Like, I don't remember matches from Trish Stratus that was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I remember Braun Panty matches. So when you say Evolution, these are not the people I think of, and you're trying to make it seem like these are the people I should be thinking of, but it's not. Because the people today are way better than those from the past.
Right.
And that's just my opinion.
Right. So I agree 1,000%. I also what we seen today with the women wrestlers compared to Trish and Lita and other people, yeah, I think I don't want to say they're overrated, but I think we put them on a pedestal just because they're standouts or whatever. Like you said, the main event match they had at Raw quite a few years ago wasn't the greatest match. What pisses me off is, and hurts me as a woman, is because SmackDown this past week, you had one woman match, and that was not only was it one, but it was in the beginning. So it was the beginning. It was Becky and Charlotte. You didn't even see if like maybe we go have a backstage segment and see how they were doing or what have you, just to hype up the match and the feud even more. 1, 2. The only other women that you saw on SmackDown was Paige. She's the GM, and Lana. Lana is dealing with a storyline about her husband, which is a feud between her husband and Aiden English. So it has a lot to do with her, but at the end of the day, it's not her feud. Right? So then you have the audacity to promote Susan G. Komen. You didn't even at least have a woman come out like they did the previous weeks and have whatever breast cancer survivors come out or what have you. So this is a month where we honor women who is breast cancer awareness, whether, survivors or people who are just going through it. We honor these women, and you did absolutely nothing. That bothers me. When you have a pay-per-view, again, that is 3 weeks away.
Yep. That's
supposed to be for women, right? And I'm not saying anything about the McMahons or their family, and I'm not trying to, but it's mind-boggling to me for, okay, you're spearheading this pay-per-view. You have a wife. You have a daughter that has a prominent role with the company, and you have granddaughters. So we should, and Triple H has daughters. Stephanie has her daughters, and Shane, doesn't he? He has sons. Okay. With all that said, you have women in that family that could potentially years from now have prominent roles in the company as well.
Right.
You want to instill this that women can run a major corporation, right? $1 billion corporation, right? And it is for me. And when I look at it, it's just like, yo, you still don't value women. You know what I mean? You're only doing this, like you said, as a marketing ploy. And it sucks, especially when you have someone like Stephanie McMahon, which I'm a huge fan of, that's in such a prominent role, and we're not doing more with it.
Right.
There is no reason why we're doing a World Cup, and I know you had an issue with that.
I was about to say that after he was done.
I'll let you, talk more about that, but we have a World Cup, and you're focusing on part-timers and what have you for Crown Jewel, which is a week after Evolution. You didn't have anything else about Evolution on SmackDown. Yeah, you had a few matches here and there on Raw, but it wasn't anything like, okay, we're going to mention Evolution. We're going to do this. Like, in this country, and we've seen it in the news, and we're not going to get into it because that's politics, that women are not valued. Women, are treated a certain way.
Right.
This is for us, and this is for people who are for women.
Right.
And you're not doing anything, but you're focusing on Crown Jewel. When the irony is, with Crown Jewel, it's going somewhere in a place where women are not valued.
Right.
So the WWE should be the leaders of, not should be the leaders, but should be one of the main players of having women just being in the forefront, and you could really get media coverage by that, and they're not doing anything. And that sucks, again, for me as a woman who's been a fan of this product for years.
Right.
And you're not doing anything. Like, granted, okay, what, you're going to start next? Like, what are you guys doing? And then I'll be thoroughly pissed. Come Evolution, we got 3 matches, and everything else is a battle royal. Because that's what it's looking like, is battle royal
or tag team
matches. And that's not cool. And it's not cool at all. These women have since the whole Divas Revolution worked their butt off to be superstars, not divas, but superstars.
Right.
And get better reactions than the men. And for y'all not to focus on that. And we were all like, yo, okay, no, we'll give it to SuperShowdown. It's Australia, whatever.
Right.
We'll see. Then it's Monday. We're going to start off fresh. And you did absolutely nothing. There's no excuse. That's unacceptable.
Yeah, when they started off Monday and talked about the World Cup, I was like, so we're just going to skip Evolution, aren't we? And that really bugged me, got underneath my skin. And then as the night continued of qualifying matches for the World Cup, first of all, why are you calling the World Cup with all these flags in the background when the 4 people that you already qualified into it are part-timers and they're Americans? How is it a World Cup? I'm not getting that. Like, you have a lot of diversity on your roster that could have really made this a World Cup situation, and you didn't utilize it.
And on top of that, what we mentioned earlier, you had Randy Orton versus The Big Show.
Right.
The Big Show's retired.
Semi-retired, but...
2, there was a feud going on with Randy and Ty. Why didn't you just have Ty and Randy?
Exactly.
Because then that would have helped that feud.
Exactly. And again, you're overlooking Evolution. Like, that's your next pay-per-view. Like, it's in New York, one of the biggest markets, and you haven't even sold out yet. There's a lot of tickets left. Yeah. I've seen them.
Yeah.
I didn't even buy my ticket yet because I'm still on the fence. I'm only going to go because of work purposes.
Yeah.
It's not to see the show because it's not what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
So, Evolution, I don't know. Like, I'm sad.
I was
devastated.
frustrated. I was, and like, you can't take it personally because whatever. But again, and I know it means a lot to you, but like, I'm a woman, right? Where it's wrestling. When you look at wrestling, it's, again, we had this conversation when we first started this podcast. You look at wrestling, it's an all, quote unquote, all boys network, right?
Right.
Back in the day, women didn't have prominent roles, right? And then when you did starting to see women, they were managers, right? Either you were really, really, strong like China,
right?
Or you had to be, you had some type of sex appeal with Sable, Sunny, and all these different girls, right? And even Trish, even Lita to a certain extent, the way she used to come out with her gear.
Yep.
So when you have people like, again, Sasha and Bailey killing in NXT, something we've never seen before. Charlotte just, we get on her quite a few times, just more so because of her push.
Right.
We see Becky. We see people like Paige. We see people like AJ. We see people like even AJ Lee, and even the Bellas. Again, as much as we're not the biggest fans of the Bellas,
no, Nikki, they both have
grown, right, from what they were supposed to be, divas, right? So this is a celebration of what these women have accomplished in only a few years. This is what we look forward to, especially women, to see like little girls like wanting to be wrestlers.
Right.
You didn't see that back in the day. Maybe, yeah, obviously you did, but it wasn't in the forefront or how we see on social media. Like, like a lot of girls that I follow that are younger than me, and I see in their bio, future WWE superstar.
Right.
Right? So that's their dream.
Right.
So this is for us. This is for the little girls that are fans of this product to be like, yo, I want to work for that company one day. But you're just showing us how it is right now.
Right.
Like, women don't, we still have to worry about getting underpaid.
Right.
Right? Or we're liars about specific stuff that happens, or we're just nothing more than housewives and this and that and the third. This is when clearly these women are showing you we are so much more than that. We're athletes. We're just as good as men.
Right.
We deserve to get paid just as more. Right? This is unacceptable, and it's a slap in wrestling fans' face, especially people who are fans of women wrestling. It's a slap in our face.
Exactly. And again, as you said, I'm one of those people that's for women. This is the last thought I have because I know we're running kind of long.
Yeah.
Back in the day with Trish and Stratus, because I was a kid.
Trish and Stratus.
Trish and Lita. Trish and Stratus. Trish and Lita, I was into the whole bras and panties matches because I was a kid. This is a close I'm going to get to softcore porn. But that's how I was a kid.
Okay.
But to me, the wrestlers of women, the people I looked at was Jacqueline, Molly Holly. You know what I'm saying?
China.
Like Victoria,
China.
Jazz.
Yeah.
Like, where are these people that was really wrestling back then and had the Ivory? Like, where are these people? If you was going to bring anybody back, I would prefer you to bring one of these, especially Jazz. I haven't seen Jazz in forever. She's the NWA Women's Champion right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm biased in the sense of, like, I'm okay with Trish and Lita because, yes, especially with Trish, it was the whole bra and panties thing, but she's another person kind of like the Bellas, another woman that grew into actually being a wrestler.
Right.
So I don't knock that. And yes, it'd be cool to see the old timers, but again, it was supposed to be storylines that were advanced.
Right.
Bringing up other superstars. Right. And it's discouraging, and I'm not excited. You know, again, we don't know what they have in store. It could blow our mind, right?
In the next 2 weeks, right?
You never know. But at this particular moment,
I'm not happy.
I'm not encouraged by it, and it's really, 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 really deflating.
See my face?
We'll see what happens next week, though, right?
Let's see what happens. I know, and eventually we said we was gonna have like an all women's podcast between me and you, right? To talk about like matches and favorite wrestlers and stuff like that. Do you think it's Evolution? Maybe we could do that
the week before.
We could do it the week before. This would be a special edition, I guess.
Okay.
Since they're not doing anything, right?
I told you. So if we got it, someone got to do it.
Somebody got to do it.
We got to honor the women some way, somehow.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. Evolution is in 3 weeks, and then right after that, Crown Jewel.
Crown Jewel.
So on
the World Cup.
The World Cup. So on that note, that is our show.
Yep.
What is this HDMI? I saw something there.
Nothing.
You didn't see it.
Make sure you go ahead and follow us on Twitter, Instagram at The Mixed Tag Show, or on our personal at
Blue Magic Grind.
Spelled how it sound. And at Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE. Make sure you go ahead and click on our WWE shop link in our description in the bottom. On our personal pages in the click the link thing, like the link tree.
Link tree.
Yeah.
On our personal pages and our page.
Yeah. So just go ahead and click that. Give us some coins because we need it.
Shout out to the WWE shop for lacing us as always. Shout out to Nerds Clothing for this dope leader shirt. Shout out to the shop for the GOAT.
Happy birthday to Eddie Guerrero.
His birthday was this past
Tuesdays.
But
show love.
Viva la raza.
Yeah, Latino heat.
That's right.
So on that note. Oh, yeah, no. We said we were going to change it.
No,
I bid you adieu.
Oh, yeah.
Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
Boom.
Bang.
Do it. Hurry up.
Oh, la boom.
It's the Mixed Tag Show.
Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna.
And blue.